What's going on, guys? Today we're going over Unit 5.4, Sectional Conflict and Immigration in Antebellum America, right? So we'll be diving into this and we'll examine how the waves of immigration impact different regions filled by sectional conflicts and played a part in tensions that will lead us to the Civil War. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. In this first slide, we're going to go over the introduction of sectional conflict. So, sectionalism, we talked about in the past, was a powerful force that shaped the American politics and society in the antebellum era that we've been going over for the last couple of days. In the nation's regions, the North, South, and West began to diverge in economic interest and social structures. Okay, and growing divided and laid the foundation for regional tensions and conflicts that become increasingly difficult to resolve. Okay, and that's what it's talking about in the slide. And my big bubble is covering some of the information, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and continue. All right, so now let's talk about the waves of immigration from the 1820s to the 1850s. And for this immigration groups we saw the Irish, Germans, and later the Chinese coming to America for various reasons. Some saw for the economic opportunities, right, that were coming up in America. Others fled political instability, and many, like the Irish, were escaping famine, which is basically dealing with food. Each group's arrival would shape regional economic opportunities, like we just said, and they adjust to the societies differently, as we'll be talking about in this lecture, what they were bringing over and what the American people thought when they were coming. So make sure to write down what's highlighted, and let's continue. Now let's talk about the immigrants in the North, right? So many immigrants, especially the Irish and Germans, settled in northern cities where the economic opportunities were plentiful. They were quickly integrated into the workforce, particularly in manufacturing jobs. And as the immigration communities grew, the immigrant communities, sorry, grew. Urban areas saw formation of ethnic enclaves where people could find support and preserve their cultural identities. Okay, so enclave is basically, like I just stated, where particularly an area not from their home uh, town or whatever, home city, home country, but it's a portion of a city where they're not from, where like I just said, they can find their cultural identities. Okay, so go ahead and move on from that. Hopefully, I didn't confuse you there. And in this slide, it's talking about nativism and anti-immigrant sentiments. So with the increase in the immigration came a rise in nativism, particularly in the North, like we just stated in the last slide. Many native born Americans feared job competition and culture change at this time. And, if we know, people don't like change. A lot of people don't like change. And this particular ones, they didn't want the Americas to change into this whole culture exchange, change, whatever you want to put it. And this led to the formation of groups like the Know Nothing Party, which aimed to restrict immigrant rights, especially focus on anti-Catholic sentiments due to a large number of Catholic Irish immigrants. Okay, so that's basically what it's talking about on the slide. And yeah, let me go ahead and go on. I want to keep it pretty short today. So a lot of immigration and sectional tensions happened. The North the acceptance of the immigrant labor clashed with the South's reliance on the enslaved labor system, right? So some Northerns opposed slavery, but were also wary of the growing immigration population. In the South, immigration was seen as a threat to their economical model and social hierarchy, deepening in the ideological divide between the regions. And that's what's basically going on in this slide. But yeah, let me go ahead and move on from this one as well. And in this slide, we're talking about the political and social impact of immigration. So immigration communities, especially Irish Catholics, began to engage politically, and they often aligned with the Democratic Party, and their presence shifted to excuse me, the political landscape, influencing debates around slavery and labor laws as immigrant workers became a key component of the North's industrial workforce. So you guys can see in the slide, it just mentions what I just kind of talked about. So immigration shifted to a political landscape influencing issues like slavery and labor laws. But yeah, this is talking about the North and the South. North was anti-slavery and the South was for pro-slavery. They didn't want any of the systems to just kind of go unbalanced. Again, we've been talking about this all week. But yeah, this is what's talking about the social impact and the political impact. As the average were coming in, they were coming in with their own kind of Catholic beliefs, but that's not what the Americans wanted. They wanted no change at this time. They're trying to keep everything balanced, like I just said. I'm like sound like a broken record, but yes, let's go ahead and continue. So yes, now let's talk about the Know Nothing Party again, right? As it's talking about the Know Nothing Party and its influences. So basically, the Know Nothing Party emerged as a response to the perceived threat of immigration influence. Their goals included restricting voting rights for immigrants and promoting anti-Catholic policies. While the party's success was short-lived, it highlighted the intense sectional tensions over immigration and the cultural change of America. All right, so keep that in mind as we're talking about this today. And I'm gonna go ahead and continue, and we're gonna keep it under 10 minutes today. We only have two more slides, but hopefully everything kind of aligns with class. Work on a Wednesday was today. It was kind of stressful, kind of a long lesson today, but we'll go ahead and continue. And in this slide, we're going to be talking about the immigration and the road to the Civil War. So by the 1850s, immigration, nativism, and sectionalism had created a vital atmosphere in the United States, right? Disputes over the labor systems and the regional identities intensified, setting the stage for the Civil War. Immigration had added yet another layer of the North and South divided. As we talked about in the previous slides, they wanted to keep everything the same. All right. There was already so much tension going on in the North and South at this time when it came to slavery, which we'll talk more about slavery tomorrow when it comes to this. But right now it's talking about immigration. But yes, that's what this would lead to the Civil War, right? A lot of these events we've been talking about is leading to the Civil War. So yeah, go ahead and write down everything that's on the slide that you can see at least, and we're going to go ahead and move on. So I did keep it a little bit of a short lesson today. This is very little. This is kind of like a two-parter, right? Like today we're talking about immigration, and tomorrow we'll talk about slavery. But in summary, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this short lesson. So in summary, the immigration basically is significantly shaped the northern and industrial growth and cultural diversity that was going on at this time, right? While the South remained relied on basically enslaved labor and wary of immigration influence, nativism rose during this time, especially in the North, leading to the emerge of the Know Nothing Party, which we talked about a little bit. And these dynamics would only deepen the sectional divisions that would ultimately contribute to the Civil War, which we have been talking about. So there's nothing to be written here. I'm just going to conclude the lesson here today, tomorrow, which is Thursday. It's Wednesday right now, but and for Thursday, I'm gonna have a little bit of work for you guys to work on, kind of conclude, kind of summarize the lesson, what you learned, and I also want to get you guys caught up on your discussions on Teams. I'll be passing out tomorrow. So yes, goal is reached today. We kept it under 10 minutes. So we'll have a perfect structure for tomorrow and we'll be back aligned with the normal schedule. I hope you guys had a good Wednesday. I hope you guys have a good Thursday. It's almost Friday. Pretty exciting. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it right now. It's already at 9 minutes. So thank you guys for watching. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.